welcome everyone here this morning in the precious name of Jesus Christ. We serve a most awesome, a most wonderful God, who is the miracle doer. And all we can say is to him be all the glory and all the honor forever and ever. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments. For this is the whole duty of man. For God shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. Please give me a few minutes to say it, and we shall be through very quickly. Subject is what matters most in life. What matters most in life. Many times human beings don't know what really matters in life. And when we don't know what matters most in life, three things become the outcome. One, we end up chasing shadows. Shadows. We have a lot of people who are chasing shadows in life because they don't really know what matters to life. Secondly, we end up wasting life's energy in the wrong pursuit. We waste life's energy with the wrong pursuit. And thirdly, we end up with very massive regrets at the end of life. We end up chasing shadows. We end up wasting life's energies in the wrong pursuit. And we end up with very massive regrets at the end of life. So what is it that really matters most? Number one, it is not who we are, but whose we are. That is the first thing that matters the most. Not who we are, but whose we are. I am a doctor, I am a lawyer, I am a billionaire, I am a millionaire. It doesn't matter as much as who owns us. Who you belong to is more important than who you are. Is it, do I belong to myself? Do I belong to God? Or do I belong to the devil? What matters most? Every man's achievement on earth matters nothing if they don't belong to God. Number two, it is not whether we are citizens of a particular nation, but whether we are citizens of heaven that matter most. It is not whether we are citizens of a particular nation, but whether we are citizens of heaven. There are those who celebrate how they became citizens of America. Thank God I have gotten my American passport. Thank God I have gotten my British passport. Thank God I have gotten my European passport. All that is all right. But it doesn't matter what passport you have. If you don't have passport to heaven, it's a waste of life. What matters most in life, thirdly, it is not where we are going to spend holiday, but where we are going to spend eternity. It is not where we are going to spend summer holiday. Some people, oh, been saving to go to Europe. I want to go to Dubai. It's all right. But where are we going to spend eternity? It's what matters most. Fourthly, it is not the quality of the physical dress on our body, but the purity of our spiritual garment that matter most. Not the quality of our spirit of the physical dress on our body, but the purity of our spiritual garment. That is what matters the most. It's not how expensive your cloth is. It's not the designer that designed the cloth that matters. It is not the quality of shoe you are wearing that matters. But what is the purity of the garment you are wearing in the spirit? The purity of our spiritual garment. If you remember, in Zechariah chapter 3, there was a man called Joshua, the high priest, that was clothed in filthy garments before the angel as a minister. There are people that look like King Solomon in their appearance, but look like vultures in the spirit. There are people that are wearing apparels of royalty in the physical, but they are wearing stinky, smelly garments with excreta on their body in the realm of the spirit. So while many of us spend our time on how we look in the physical, there are so many who don't care about how they look in the spiritual. And that is what matters when nothing else matters. What is it that matters most in life? Number 5, it is not the quality of the car we drive, but the intensity of the passion that drives us. Not the quality of the car we drive, but the intensity of the passion that drives us. That's what matters most. Far more important than what you drive is what drives you. What is it that drives you in life? The things you do, why do you do them? Why are you making money? Why are you trying to be popular? It's what drives us that matter more than what we drive. Number 6, it is not the amount of money in our bank account, but the eternal deposits in our kingdom account with God that matters. Not the amount of money in our bank accounts, but the eternal deposit in our kingdom account with God that matters. You might have $1 billion in the banks on the earth, but have 0 account with God in heaven. And it means nothing. For what shall he profit a man if he gains the whole world and loses his soul? Not the amount of money in our bank accounts on the earth, but the eternal deposit in our kingdom account with God that matters. Number 7, it is not the income we made on the earth, but the difference we made in time and eternity. Not the income we made on the earth, but the difference we make for time and eternity that matters most. Not how much money we have made, but how much difference. How many people's lives did we change for God? How much difference did we make for eternity that matters most? Number 8, it is not the cost of our hairstyle, but the quality of the crown that awaits us in eternity. That is what matters. It is not the cost of our hairstyle, but the quality of the crown that is waiting for us on the other side. And I'm going to give a summary very soon. What is it that matters? Number 9, it is not just how active we are for God, but how intimate we are with God that matters. Not just how active we are for God, but how intimate we are with God. It is possible to walk for God and not walk with God and still end in hell. It is not how active we are for God, but how intimate we are, How close are we to God? Isaiah was prophesying, and yet God was looking for who to send. Who shall we send, and who will go for us? Meaning that God was not aware of the work he was doing, because he was far from God yet working for God. What is it that matters most in life? Number 10. It is not the testimony we share on earth, but whether our testimony at the end is that we missed hell. Not the testimony, God gave me money, God gave me car, God gave me this. Thank God for those testimonies, they are great. But the testimony at the end that we missed hell and made heaven. The most important testimony anybody can share is that you missed hell and made heaven. Not that you got 1,000, not that, thank God you got 100 million after prayer. Thank God for all that. Not that you got a husband because the pastor prayed. Thank God for that. Not that you got the fruit of the womb because pastor prayed. Thank God for all that. But the most important testimony we can share is that at the end of my journey, I missed hell and I made heaven. Anybody who is not walking towards that is wasting his life on earth. There are people who don't go to church at all who have received testimonies before. Am I communicating? One was testifying here of the other religion. He came out, he got a testimony, not because he was a Christian. What is it that matters most in life? It is not how much of God's goodness we celebrate on the earth, but whether we will be part of the celebration in heaven. That's what matters. Thank God for God's goodness, and praise God, we are all enjoying God. Not just how much of God's goodness we celebrate on the earth, but whether we will be part of the eternal celebration in heaven. Whether we will be part of what is called the marriage supper of the Lamb. That is what matters. Am I communicating? Thank God for the message of faith. Thank God for the message of supernatural supply or prosperity. Thank God for the message of victory. But it didn't say without faith no man can see God. It didn't say without prosperity no man can see God. So without holiness no man can see. So it's possible to have faith and miss God. It's possible for God to supply your needs and you still missed him at the end. Am I communicating at all? What is it that matters most in life? Number 12 and final. It is those things that will matter when nothing on earth matters. What is it that matters most in life? It is those things that will matter when nothing on earth matters anymore. When the car you drive does not matter anymore. When the house you lived in does not matter anymore. When the money you made does not matter anymore. It is those things that will matter when nothing on earth matters anymore. The time will come, there will be no healing service. There will be no deliverance service. There will be no prayer and fasting. Curtains of time has been drawn. And we have stepped into eternity. And the things that will matter are those things that matters when nothing on earth matters anymore. Am I communicating? Nobody has ever been to the gate of heaven and said, I was a professor of virology and I studied so hard, please let me get in there. No. It's those things that will matter. What is my counsel today? In order for us to live in line with what matters the most, number one, live with the fear of God. Fear of God. The fear of God. Let us fear God and keep his commandment. For this is the whole duty of man. Even if we don't fear man, let's fear God. Let's live with the consciousness that there is a God in heaven who is watching. Second, let us live with eternity in view. Dust shall return back to the dust, and the spirit shall return to God who gave it. Eternity in view. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, 6, 7. Let's live with eternity in view. Then shall the dust return to the earth as it was, and the spirit shall return unto God who gave it. One day, everybody here will expire. No level of faith can stop that. One day, when we have lived our lives, the way they will refer to you is he used to, he was. That is what matters. Eternity in view. Heaven is real, and hell is real. And thirdly, let us live with others in mind. With others in mind. With love for others. Matthew chapter 7 verse 12. Let us live with others in mind. Let us live with love for others. You know, beloved, as I round off, we live in a kind of world today where people live as if God does not exist. Where people live as if this world will never end. Where people live with no heart for others. I was talking with a woman, a widow, with 4 children, married to a man that was substantial before, but the man died. Things are not very good anymore. She went to her husband's friends for assistance, and some of them wanted to sleep with her first before helping the widow. Her crime is that her husband died. The death of her husband made her vulnerable. And no matter how lustful you are, would you like to help a helpless person? Lust aside, this is somebody in problem. Why would you use somebody's problem to an advantage to yourself and a detriment to that person? That's the kind of world we live in. And as I heard it, I thought, the man who wants to sleep with the widow of his friend before helping her, are you wishing the same for your wife? So that you can die suddenly and then people will begin to take advantage of your wife like that? If your children were married and they were in such position, would you want people to do that to them before helping them? The heartless world we live in. Like God does not exist. Like heaven and hell does not exist. Put yourself in the shoes of others. Take your seat. How many young girls are suffering, for example, on the campus because of a carnal lecturer who wants to sleep with her first before making her to pass an exam that she legally passed? What demon is that? What a devil, what a demon. That is not weakness, that is wickedness. There is a difference between somebody is weak and somebody is wicked. And the young girl failed the exam, not because she failed the exam, but because she refused to bow to the demonic wishes of a carnal man, and God is watching. What a situation where young children, somebody sent me a text the other day. He said, excuse me, sir, pray for me against our lecturer. that there is the evil practice of donating money to bribe the lecturer so that you can pass. And if you don't bribe the lecturer, he said you reduce your CGPA. And children have been made to buy handouts that they don't need. And if you don't buy it, you can't pass. It's a useless demonic system. No wonder we have such a low quality of education. If you can pay the money, you can pass, whether you can speak English or not. So you have master's degree holders who cannot construct any straight English, who pass through such lecturers of low quality mentality, because people think God does not exist, or there is no eternity, or this world is here to stay. Am I communicating? Is anybody hearing what I'm saying here today? There is life after life, sir. And the life that is after life makes this life shadow. Eternity is endlessness. Send a little child to go and empty the Atlantic Ocean with a piece of spoon. Teaspoon. By the time that Atlantic Ocean has been emptied by that child, eternity has not started. Is God speaking to somebody here? Eternity, endlessness. What of the civil servant or the official in an establishment who is expecting bribe before doing a work that you are paid to do? You expect to be bribed. As if God does not exist, as if there is no heaven or hell. And I ask myself a question. If the road safety officer on the roadside is doing his normal patrol, God forbid, and he sees a terrible accident scene involving that officer, will he want to be bribed first before taking the man to the hospital? And the corrupt man arrives at the accident and emergency, and the young medical doctor is on duty. There is massive intra-abdominal bleeding, intracranial hemorrhage. Will the young medical doctor wait to be bribed first before saving the life of that man? Everybody wants to be bribed to do what they are meant to do, as if there is no God, as if there is no heaven, as if everything ends in this world. What shall it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his own soul? The worst that can happen to any of us is to dance in church and still roast in hell. That is the worst. May the devil never catch you in hell as a pastor. That he was the pastor of so and so church. Me, you arrested my assignment on time. I was meant to operate very well in your city. You kept on frustrating me by your prayers. You are in my hands. May no church worker end in hell. Is God speaking to anybody here today? May we not dance in church and roast in hell. Please wake up. And let us face the things that matter. People dress about almost naked going to church. Dressed about seductive going to church. As if they were going to the nightclub. But the time will come when both that dress and the flesh will rot in the earth. What you are trying to advertise. And then the real you that was talking to you, you refuse to hear. Roasting in hell. Huh? Like we say, you are seductively going about like that. Somebody may not go after you to sleep with you, but you made a deposit in his mind, and on your account he slept with another person on your account, and that sleeping was recorded to your account. But I'm not luring anybody into sin, but he didn't lure anybody to sin with you. but your impact lured them to sin with somebody. Am I communicating? How people the same things keep on being preached, and people keep on doing what they feel like doing with their lives. But today, let us face what really matters. Stand in front of your mirror, let the Holy Ghost talk to you. You don't claim that you are going to church like that. Am I communicating? You don't need to be a Christian to know what is decent. In the village, old women, young, middle, they all know what decency is all about. How many of you know that in our villages, when they in those days when the man carries his wife on the motorcycle, she crosses her leg on the other side like this. On the bicycle, crosses the leg on the other side like this. Crosses the leg on the other side like this. Have you noticed it before? All manner. But today, anything. A teacher was indicted the other day for scattering her legs, female teacher in her class, with dress like this before secondary school boys. That's the kind of world we live in. Am I communicating at all? In those days, there are things you say, be a lady, don't do like that. Today, there is no difference between ladiness and manness. All has mixed together. They are struggling to wear what we are wearing, and we are not struggling to wear what they are wearing. Am I communicating? Like us to make up our minds. Where are we going after all these things? So that nobody say he was deceived. After we have shouted and jumped and danced, and he said, I know you not, you workers of iniquity. That shall not be your portion. Stand upon your feet.